Welcome to WTF is an Apostille, the podcast dedicated to the most confusing word in the immigration vocabulary and the bureaucratic nightmare that will haunt your Aliyah dreams. I'm Moshe, and I'm here to answer the question that every future Ole asks at least 17 times. What the hell is an apostille? Why do I need 12 of them? And why does this word sound like either a fancy French pastry or a biblical character? Let me paint you a picture. You've decided to make Aliyah. You're excited. You're motivated. You're ready to start your new life in Israel. And then someone, probably from the Jewish agency, probably speaking very quickly, mentions that you'll need to apostille your documents. And you're like, I'm sorry, I need to what my documents? Apostille them. Is that English? It's French, actually. Why do I need to do something French to my American documents to move to Israel? This is the moment when making Aliyah stops feeling like an adventure and starts feeling like you've accidentally enrolled in graduate-level international law. So what is an apostille? Buckle up, because this is where bureaucracy gets philosophical. An apostille is a certificate that certifies that another certificate is actually a real certificate. It's like a permission slip for your documents to travel internationally. It's proof that your birth certificate is actually a birth certificate and not just something you printed out at home because you really want to convince people you were born. Basically, it's a document that documents your documents so other countries can trust that your documents are legitimate documents. Got it? No? Don't worry. Nobody gets it at first. The word apostille comes from French and means postscript or marginal note, which is ironic because there's nothing marginal about the stress this process will cause you. It should be called an oh shit ill because that's what you'll say when you realize how much work this involves. Here's how I discovered apostilles existed. I'm at the Jewish agency office, feeling very prepared with all my documents neatly organized in a folder. Birth certificate, college transcripts, FBI background check, marriage certificate, the works. I slide this folder across the desk like I'm closing a business deal. The counselor opens it, looks through everything, nods approvingly, and then says, "Great. Now you just need to get all of these apostilled." All of these what now? Apostilled. Authenticated for international use. I don't know. Nobody told me about this. What does that even mean? She explains that Israel doesn't just accept American documents at face value. They need proof that these documents are real, official, legitimate documents issued by actual American authorities. Because apparently, people might lie about being born or graduating from college or not being international criminals. Wild concept, I know. So I go home and Google how to apostille documents and immediately fall down a bureaucratic rabbit hole that makes Alice in Wonderland look like a straightforward instruction manual. Turns out, you can't just apostille documents anywhere. You have to apostille them in the state where they were issued. So if you were born in California but went to college in New York and got married in Texas, congratulations. You get to navigate 3 different state bureaucracies. Each state has its own apostille process, its own forms, its own fees, its own processing times, and its own creative interpretation of what constitutes proper documentation. It's like each state government held a meeting and said, how can we make this as complicated as possible while still technically being helpful? California wants notarized copies sent by mail with a cashier's check and a processing time of 4 to 6 weeks. New York wants original documents hand-delivered to an office that's only open on Tuesdays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., except during the 3rd week of months that start with vowels. Texas wants... Actually, I'm still not sure what Texas wants, but it involves 3 different forms and a blood oath. This is when I realized that getting apostilles isn't just bureaucracy. It's a cross-country scavenger hunt. I'm planning trips to 3 different states to collect official stamps on documents that prove other documents are real. I feel like I'm in a Dan Brown novel, except instead of saving the world, I'm just trying to convince Israel that I graduated high school. My Apostille road trip starts in California, where I was born. I drive to Sacramento, because of course the Apostille office is in Sacramento, not anywhere convenient like San Francisco or LA. I bring my birth certificate, my forms, my money, my patience, and my rapidly diminishing faith in bureaucratic logic. The California Secretary of State's office is exactly what you'd expect from a government building designed to process apostilles. Fluorescent lighting, beige everything, and the kind of carpet that makes you question your life choices. I take a number, 47. They're currently serving number 12. 2 hours later, I approach the window with my birth certificate and apostille request form. The clerk examines everything with the intensity of someone defusing a bomb. "This birth certificate is from 1987, she says. "Yes, that's when I was born." "We need a certified copy issued within the last 5 years." "But it's my birth certificate. I haven't been born again recently." "Doesn't matter. New policy. You need a recent certified copy from the county where you were born." So, I drive to the county office, wait in another line, pay another fee, and get a recent copy of my birth certificate, which is identical to my original birth certificate, but somehow more legitimate because it was printed last Tuesday instead of 34 years ago. Back to Sacramento. New number 73. Currently serving 18. Another 2-hour wait to apostille a document that proves I'm the same person I was when I started this process 6 hours ago. But finally, I have my first apostille. It's this official-looking certificate with ribbons and seals and signatures that basically says, yes, this American birth certificate is really an American birth certificate. It's beautiful and completely absurd. Only 4 more documents to go. And 2 more states. New York is next. My college transcripts need apostilling, which requires a trip to Albany because apparently New York decided that anyone wanting to apostille education documents should have to travel to the least convenient part of the state. The New York process involves something called exemplification, which is just apostille's pretentious cousin. Same concept, fancier name, more expensive fees. Texas, meanwhile, has apparently decided that marriage certificates can only be apostilled on days ending in Y by people wearing blue shirts while standing on 1 foot. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but not by much. 3 weeks, 5 government offices, 8 forms, 12 fees, and approximately 17 existential crises later, I have a collection of apostille documents that look like medieval manuscripts declaring my legal existence to the world. I bring my apostille document collection back to the Jewish agency, feeling like a conquering hero who has slain the bureaucratic dragon and claimed the golden fleece of international document authentication. "Great," says the counselor. "Now you just need to get these translated into Hebrew and certified by a sworn translator." "I'm sorry, what now?" And that, my friends, is how I learned that apostilles are just the first level of the international document authentication video game. There are many more levels involving translation, certification, notarization, and probably some kind of ritual sacrifice to the gods of paperwork. But here's the thing about apostilles that nobody tells you. They're actually kind of brilliant. Not the process is insane, but the concept. They're this international agreement that lets countries trust each other's documents without having to become experts in every other country's bureaucracy. When I hand my apostilled birth certificate to an Israeli government official, they don't need to know anything about California's document policies. They just need to recognize the apostille format and trust that whoever issued it verified everything properly. It's like a universal translator for bureaucracy. It's the international community saying, look, We're all going to have different ways of doing paperwork. But let's agree on one stamp that means this is legit, so we can all get on with our lives. So what is an apostille? It's a testament to human cooperation and a monument to bureaucratic complexity. It's the document that makes your documents international citizens. It's proof that even in our divided world, we can all agree on at least one thing. Paperwork should be really, really complicated. I'm Moshe. This has been WTF is an apostille? And next week we'll tackle the equally confusing question. What's a sworn translator, and why do they have more power over my life than most government officials? Until then, remember, apostilles are like relationships, expensive, time-consuming, requiring travel to inconvenient locations, but ultimately necessary for international recognition. May your documents be forever authenticated, your seals be properly embossed, and your apostilles be apostille enough for whatever country is questioning your existence today.